over 3 years ago, we had presented the 6 startups that graduated from our very first cohort to the world. Since then, it's been such an exciting journey that's seen 29 startups graduate, 8 of which went on to become NetApp Technology Alliance partners, 3 got acquired, and over 70% of them raised follow-on funding. With the new normal in place, the program has adopted a startup mindset and pivoted to an online mode. We have selected our cohort over online sessions and conducted all the workshops and meetings online without any disruption. We will also continue in the same vein for our next cohort, which will be announced shortly. I am now thrilled to present the 6 startups from our 6th cohort. Each of them is doing inspiring and impactful work that will add value to the B2B landscape with deep tech.
I think this accelerator program is an amazing opportunity for startups, and it's something that I would encourage any startup at a very early stage to be part of it, because they get the exposure that you require.
The ability to interact very closely with some of the decision makers here who are actually willingly participant in equal manner to find out how this startup or other startup could benefit with this program. So that's really heartwarming.
The whole team of NetApp Accelerator has been amazing, to say the least, with an excellent support system, with consistent guidance, and which is very, very encouraging for a younger startup like us.
NetApp has had previously wonderful cohorts. It will be great to learn from them. They have been through a journey ahead of us, and so they know the path ahead of us.
It has been one of the most smoothly run accelerator programs that we've been part of, with structure and schedule, and things work very smoothly.
The NetApp Accelerator program gives us access to their customer base, wherein we could go ahead, do a POC with the customers. They provide access to the joint go-to-market. These 2 things can really accelerate the startups.
I hope every founder tuned in is inspired by their stories to apply for the next cohort and leverage the program to accelerate and scale. To apply, please visit startup.netapp.in.
Cohort 5 marked the launch of the next stage of the program. So with this cohort, startups are getting more opportunities to create stronger go-to-market ties with NetApp. We are working with the NetApp teams, creating reference architectures, solving for real-world problems. That is testimony to what we are achieving now in the 5th cohort.
NetApp is doing a great job in this NetApp Accelerator program. I've been following them from their first cohort, seeing the startups that have been emerging out of this program. We've taken a close look at many of them. We know many of the companies that have done well after coming out of this NetApp Accelerator, so I compliment them for the work they're doing.
It's not easy to go to a customer for early stage companies, so that's what they make it easy, and that also for deep technology. That's very good. India needs that.
Data is changing the world. It is providing the competitive edge to organizations. If you are a startup in the data-driven world and want to leverage NetApp's expertise in the technical side, get the business mentorship, and want to work at a different level, come to us. We'll partner with you, help create tangible commercial success for you.
Do you know NetApp? It is that invisible hand that is powering your world. From the time you wake up in the morning and as you go about your day, whether you're at work or shopping online or sending money to your family, or you are a university student attending lectures through the day, or seeing a friend off at the airport in the evening, NetApp is everywhere. In today's fast-paced digital world, NetApp helps brands manage the huge amounts of information created every day. NetApp helps businesses become more efficient and data-driven, in turn giving you the best experience ever. NetApp touches your life by empowering companies to change the world with data.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the virtual demo day of Cohort 6 of the NetApp Accelerator. Well, before we start, I would like to tell you we have an action-packed day lined up for you. A lot of learning, a lot of discussion, a lot of surprises. So let's get this going. Before we start, NetApp is the leader in the cloud data services, empowering global organizations to change their world with data. NetApp Accelerator is the company's global startup program, which offers a chance to B2B startup excel with data. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zuhair Abbas, and I'll be your host for this absolutely incredible show. I would say I'm your virtual host. Without any further ado, let me take you to the live action. We start with a very special segment. Before I go to that special segment, I would like to mention that we want you to tweet and do whatever you want to without any further ado, without forgetting that use the hashtag, which is NetApp Accelerator, and the handle is NetApp India. You tweet, you post a picture, whatever you do, do not forget to use the hashtag NetApp Accelerator. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very, very special surprise for every single person who's out there sitting and watching. I'm sure you all love surprises, and I'm sure you all love prizes, and I'm sure you all love to be gifted. That is the whole idea. Well, you have a chance to win a few surprise vouchers. How would you do that? Is very simple. Every now and then when I come in, I'm going to ask you a quick question, and that question will have 4 different options. Well, those 4 different options are nothing but the 4 answers. In that, it could be 1 is the right answer. All you have to do is give us the right answer. We're going to select the 3 fastest right answers. Is very simple. Go to the chat box, give us the right answer, and you could win that surprise voucher. So here is your chance to win the first one, because I'm going to present to you our first question. And the first question is, how does NetApp Accelerator program help deep tech startups? The question is, how does NetApp Accelerator program help deep tech startup? Option A, technical and business mentoring. Option B, paid POCs. C, joint GTM opportunities. And D, all of the above. Well, these are your 4 options, and the question, well, the answer to this is you need to give me, but I will come back in the next segment and tell you who were those 3 fastest ones to give us the right answer. And your time has started. Go down to the chat box and give us your right answers. There you go. With the question, the transition is to a very important segment. When I say an important segment, we also have a very, very important and a very special person who's going to join us. Before I introduce you, let me tell you a little bit about this person. Well, is a leader of NetApp Accelerator. She brings in over 17 years of experience spanning domains across the globe. An alumni of IIM Ahmedabad, while she enjoys driving innovation and taming the power of technology to achieve organizational growth. While she has been an entrepreneur, an angel investor, a mentor, an advisor to startups and whatnot. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we present to you Madhurima Agarwal.
Welcome to the demo day for Cohort 6. It's a pleasure to have you here. The world is changing. The current pandemic brings unprecedented challenges. COVID-19 is truly a black swan event, both unpredictable and devastating in impact. Besides the thousands of lives lost and societies disrupted, it has completely dislocated the fabric of organizations and the lives of people that work there. However, this is not the first, nor will it be the last black swan event that we witness. So as the saying goes, necessity is the mother of all invention. We at NetApp Accelerator, along with our startups, took up the challenge to come out of this better, faster, and stronger. We moved the program completely online and ran it in a virtual mode, allowing participants from across the world to be part of it. Everything including selections, workshops, coaching sessions, mentoring sessions, deep dives, POCs were conducted online. So much so that the feedback we received from our startups was that they did not feel at any point of time that it was not business as usual. Some of our startups pivoted while others adapted to the changed business circumstances. For example, Securely Share, it's come up with an offering especially for sharing of data securely during the work from home phase. CardioTrack has created an offering for enterprises to help them manage workforce during the return to office time. Sensefort.ai in the conversational chatbot space is now working with international organizations like NHS to create offerings that create a meaningful impact in thousands of patients' lives. Supply chain is something that is getting disrupted as this pandemic rages across the globe. Cohort is redefining how you will see supply chain in the coming future. Cyborg Intel, Curl Analytics, Eder Labs are working on some fantastic offerings in the AI and ML space to drive cost efficiencies and increase productivity for organizations. Acorn Labs in the IoT space is seeing increased adoption as these devices become more and more entrenched in our daily lives. A lot of you have been with us in this journey of 3 years. As we graduate the 6th cohort today, I am pleased to share that today is also the 3rd anniversary of the program. And we have some exciting things in store for you. The program has developed its reach across the globe. We now have startups participating from across the globe, India, US, UK, Israel, that have been part of the program. What once started with 6 startups from Bangalore today is spread across and seeing increased participation. Over these 3 years, we've had over 1,600 startups reach out to us, of which 35 were onboarded and have graduated from the program. They have done 9 POCs over the course of Cohort 5 and Cohort 6. And 3 of them have been acquired by organizations. I'm very pleased to share that over 70% of our startups have gone on to raise follow-on funding as and when they needed it. I particularly want to draw your attention to a white paper that we jointly authored with Curl Analytics that talks about leveraging the power of AI and harnessing it for enterprises to drive efficiencies. Don't forget to read it if there is something that you want to do for your enterprise in the AI space. I am very pleased to present the 6 startups that will be presenting on stage shortly. So watch out for their power-packed pitches. As we go through the year, we will be publishing a joint report with Zinnov talking about the technology landscape, especially how it relates to the startup ecosystem. We are looking forward to launch Cohort 7 in October and invite you again to the demo day that's scheduled for January 2021. A special announcement that I'd like to make today in front of this elite audience, with the increasing focus on diversity and the various discussions we've had around how do we support women entrepreneurs, we are now launching a program under the NetApp Excellerator umbrella called the NetApp Accelerate Her. This is a program specially for our women entrepreneurs, and we are going to do selections based on the common application pools and ensure that they are at par with world-class enterprises. So what are you waiting for? Applications are open for Cohort 7. To apply, visit startup.netapp.in. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Madhurima. We couldn't have asked for a better start for this entire session. Let's give a big round of applause for Madhurima. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about NetApp Accelerator, and we are here to know what the startups have to offer. But just before we go there, I would like to show you a very special film. Well, this special film is nothing but the entire journey. Let's have the film, please. What an incredible journey it has been. It has been an absolutely interesting, it has been an absolute great learning, and all I would say, it's been a fantastic journey. Thank you so much. Let's give a big round of applause for that fabulous video which showed us the journey. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for you to fasten your seatbelts, because I'm going to be announcing the right answer of question number 1, and also I will be giving out those 3 names. You might be guessing, how do we get to know who is that one who's going to win those names, or how do I get to know the name? Very simple. If you are the right ones, whoever is the winner, we're going to have their names scrolling down for you. The names are going to be scrolling here. If you see your name on these scrolls, remember to dance, remember to hug the loved ones who's right next to you. Remember to be happy, because that's most important, because you have won yourself that special gift voucher. Here it goes. The question which we asked earlier was, how does NetApp Accelerator program help deep tech startups? And the time to give out the right answer. And the right answer is option A. No, that's not the right answer. Right option could be option B. No, it's somewhere in option C or D. The right answer is option D, all of the above. Let's give a big round of applause if you've got that right. But right now you have to see if you've got the fastest. And the top 3 who got the fastest are these 3 lucky winners. If you see a name here, you've won yourself a special gift voucher. Give yourself a big round of applause. Don't be disheartened. If you've not won this, I give you chance number 2, because I'm going to present to you question number 2. The question number 2, the rules, the pattern, the answering segment is all the same. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to give you 4 different options, and you need to just give me that one right answer. But most importantly, the fastest. Remember, the fastest ones are going to win that voucher. Let's go. The question number 2. What is the preferred stage and business model of a startup participating in NetApp Excellerator? I'm going to repeat the question again. What is the preferred stage and business model of a startup participating in NetApp Excellerator? Is it option A, growth stage, B to C? Is it option B, which is early stage, B to B? Is it option C, early to growth stage, B to C? Or is it going to be option D, which is growth stage, B to B? This is your second chance. This is your second question to win that gift voucher. Get onto the chat box, give us the right answer, win that prize, and let's get going. Your time has begun, and I shift my attention from the quiz to a very, very special segment. I'm going to invite these two special people who are going to be a part of our fireside chat. Who are these going to be? The first up is going to be the one who actually kick-started the day for us, none other than it's going to be Madhurima Agarwal again. But who is going to join Madhurima is a very special segment. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this person. Well, he is the managing director of Nexus Venture Partners, where he opened and leads their Bangalore office. A lifelong learner, earned as a BS in computer engineering, as an international and founder scholar for Illinois Institute of Technology, Chicago. He is an advisor to AngelList India and Microsoft Ventures India, and 40 under 40 alternative investment professionals in India by IAAIF. He is also a global panel member at MIT Technologies Review. At Nexus, he has led investments in Postman, Unacademy, Asura, Inframarket, Zolo, and many others. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, give a big round of applause as I present to you Madhurima and none other than Samir Bridge Verma, Managing Director, Nexus Venture Partners. Well, it's over to Samir and Madhurima.
Hi Samir, it's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you, Madhurima. Great to be here.
So today the topic of our discussion is SaaS solutioning for the new normal. And I have a few questions. And we have a lot of entrepreneurs who are part of the audience, and I'm sure they're all looking forward to gathering some, insightful gems from you. So without much ado, let's begin. Given that the topic, that is foremost on everybody's mind today is the current pandemic, right? So I want to begin with a question about the new normal. What's the SaaS landscape looking like today? What's your perspective on the immediate future for the sector?
Sure. It's great to be here. These are, I'm sure you've heard this word before, but these are unprecedented times, right? I think nobody could have prepared us for something like this in some ways, but it is what it is, right? So we've got to make the most of it. One way to think about it is if you look back at SaaS as a space, right? You just have to look back maybe about 12 years back in 2008, 2009 timeframe when the financial crisis hit. What really happened at that point of time was, if you look at, that was a financial shock to the system. And, if you look at all the sectors that got impacted, one of the most resilient sectors at that point of time was the entire SaaS sector, right? You just saw that if you look back at the charts or stocks of public enterprise software companies, they were much, much more resilient than any of the other sectors. If you look at fast forward 12 years now, I personally believe that the core drivers for that particular resilience are still in play and in sort of today's crisis, right? If you look at it, SaaS inherently has some advantages. Firstly, SaaS is recurring revenue contracts, and particularly if you look at it for mission critical software, they tend to continue to be paid. People don't churn out, customers don't churn out because it's absolutely critical for enterprises to continue to pay for them. Secondly, enterprise software businesses don't have to grapple in some ways with all the supply chain disruptions that are hurting hardware centric businesses or other traditional businesses, right? You build one, deploy everywhere, that's the advantage of SaaS. So, you don't have any of those supply chain disruptions coming in. Also, if you look at it, generally enterprise software businesses, don't have direct revenue exposure to declining customer transactions. There are a few of those examples, like in marketing automation or in, where you have usage-based models. Those have gotten somewhat impacted. But on the whole, if you look at the broad sector, enterprise software businesses don't have, I would say, the direct revenue exposure to consumer transactions. So those are all the good things. The second question was, what's the perspective of immediate future of the sector? So I think, one of the things is that, fundamentally, if you look at it, and we are seeing, being VCs, we see, a lot of the companies being created today. We have we are fairly fortunate, I would say, to have, front row seats to the future in some ways and form. And we see entrepreneurs building new age companies. What's fundamentally happening is that there's a tectonic shift which is happening right now in the whole world of SaaS. And the future is basically, if you look at that traditional way in which, SaaS was sold, was pretty much sales led in some ways. What's becoming more and more important now is that SaaS will become more and more product led. And you're seeing, companies like Notion, Postman, Slack, and the likes. These are companies which are very product led. The business methodology here is user acquisition, expansion, conversion, and retention are all driven primarily by the product itself. And, so that's I would say is going to be a very major secular, trend that we're going to see in the future, because companies are going to depend on bottoms-up adoption in the enterprise and consumerization of enterprise software in some ways, where small, individuals will start using it, then teams would start using and collaborating on it, and then the enterprise would start using it. So there will be that kind of a sales motion, and you see all the massive value creation which is happening in SaaS is clearly happening in this direction, which is causing, even companies in our portfolio, for example, Postman, seeing massive growth, which is happening in that sense. So I would say a secular trend towards product-led growth is in play. The mindset for anybody building SaaS software is definitely moving towards, definitely in the direction of mobile first. They're all leveraging AI as a substrate, and a lot of them are also innovating very deeply on their pricing models. More moving towards flat pricing and a combination of usage-based pricing. We are seeing a lot of low-code platforms kind of emerge in today's time and age. We're seeing that where developers can create drag and drop interfaces and integrate flawlessly with enterprise systems. So, you're seeing some of that stuff happen. Clearly, one of the things that is going to happen is with the macro tailwind of digital transformation, there's going to be an emergence of vertical SaaS, which is going to be more and more and more important. They'll be narrowly focusing on, sort of industry verticals, whether it's in oil and gas, whether it is in construction. You're going to see a lot of industries which are laggards and are not using technology in a big way. They're going to start using this, and you're going to see emergence of a lot of these vertical SaaS companies which are going to be coming up. You're also going to see companies which have high usage, which have been deploying SaaS, move from SaaS to being platform as a service.
Thanks, Amit. That gave us a really good overview of how the SaaS market's looking like. Moving on to our next question, and I'm going to switch sides, on the funding side. As we see more and more pre-series A fundings are happening in the last 6 months than any other funding rounds that we see. So what's your advice? So first of all, do you agree with that? And what's your advice to entrepreneurs who are looking to solve, for the future?
SaaS has definitely become the flavor of the season in some ways, shapes and forms, because it's a purely digital business in many ways, right? Unless you're building market networks and doing other kinds of things with your platform. Pure SaaS is digital. And today's time and age, a lot of, if you look at VCs, right, they generally have a portfolio allocation strategy where there will be some investments in consumer internet, there'll be some investments in B2B commerce, there'll be investments in financial services, fintech, and there'll be investments in enterprise software and SaaS. If I talk, and I'm taking a perspective of India only here, and I'll also give a global perspective. But, what we're seeing more and more of is that a lot of the VC firms are getting more and more comfortable about investing into SaaS companies which start in India and move global. And that's been a thesis for us at Nexus for the last 14 years since our very inception, right? And we are pretty much pioneers in building companies on the SaaS side from India, product companies from India going global. I think that playbook is something that a lot of the other VCs have woken up to and realized that there is definitely a lot of value in funding companies which can go global. Clearly, talent is here. People are recognizing there are a lot of entrepreneurs, the Festus of the world, or the Postmans of the world, or the Dhruvas of the world, or the iCertices of the world have all given a lot of confidence to entrepreneurs that they can build from India, leverage the low-cost engineering and superior talent, and sell to the global markets, right? I would just add that what will see massive funding will be mission critical software, which is mission critical for the industries and the target customers that they serve. Basically, which will comprise of essential spends and not discretionary sort of center spending.
Yeah, that's something what I usually refer to as, whether you're selling a vitamin or you're selling a painkiller. So there's always a market for painkillers. So Samir, I understand that sales acceleration is one of your key expertise areas. So can I request you to share, with our audience, 3 long-term strategies that you would suggest, for the entrepreneurs, not just for the India market, but to actually expand globally?
I think one of the things is, it's very important, and this goes back to the times that we live in. Ambiguity, as they say, is the enemy of accountability. If you look at it, remote work is here to stay for the next 6 to 9 months, right? At least I feel that is the situation that we live in, right? So
we hope it's just that and not longer.
I would say yes. I hope so as well. But we'll have to embrace this new normal because in startups even 3 months is eternity, right? I mean, companies die very fast, right? If they don't find their product market fit or they don't perform. 6 months is in big companies it's not nothing because they are established and all of that. But in startups, 6 months things can look very, very different. So they have to, there should be no ambiguity. They should, adopt and embrace the new normal of work from home, work from anywhere. They have to really, really think through, employee performance metrics and employee engagement very deeply because it's a very difficult time. People working from home, they have families, and you're discussing it, right? They have to make sure that internal communication and all of that is very, very strong. They have to make sure that information is accessible to everybody, is consistent, and that they're investing in management and training. So, embrace, so to sum it up, embracing, work from home and not being ambiguous about it, really thinking about very deeply about, how they're going to, engage with their employees, how they're going to, evaluate them and all of that stuff. So companies have to be really, really ready to do that. The other thing I would say is that, this is a very good time to actually go back to the drawing board and thinking about, what are you really building? The best amount of value creation or large companies and large outcomes are created when you actually create a category for your product, right? So I think this is a time to actually step back and really think about how do you create your category? How do you own that category that you're building, right? How do you make sure that it's not a apple to apple comparison of sorts? How do you make sure that it stands out, right? Very distinctly from in the consumer's mind or their own customer's mind. I think that's very, very important for people to do, because it has to be positioned as a mission critical thing. And you have to take a sales motion because you can't spend time face to face with your customers. So you have to drive or you have to make it as product led, and optimize for low cost engagement in today's world. So you have to really go back to the drawing board and think about whatever you're working on, how can it create the category and how can it be different so that it's not an apple to apple, it's an orange, and how do you make the customer believe that that's what they need, not what they want, but that's what they need. So I think that's going to be important, and thinking through a very different kind of a sort of product-led growth is going to be kind of very, very critical. I also feel that these are, I would say, two broad points. One, the work from home and embracing that piece is kind of a very, it's a base level lowest common denominator thing for any company to do at this point of time. But one of the things that you should also make sure is that your sales team is very efficient and you're tracking what's moving through your funnel very, very effectively, and how the velocity index, which is basically how you identifying, tracking, and quantifying how are they moving across your sales funnel, making that a lot more efficient and making that very, very quantitative, so that you can decipher patterns out of there and act on it very fast. That's going to be very, 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 very important at this point of time. Your customers are going to be, not being able to, they're going to budget only very, very mission critical things. They themselves, their businesses are going to be under a little bit of threat. So it's very important for you to know who your ideal customer is, target them, and then track their movement through the funnel very, very, very carefully, and make sure that you're working very, very closely with your customers. The other thing is that instead of when you have lesser resources, it's better to kind of make sure that you go deeper with your customers, existing customers, and try and make more money, rather than try and acquire a lot of new customers, especially when you have lesser amount of budgets or you have lesser capital in your bank. So I think these would be, I would say 2 or 3 or 4 sort of long-term strategies that you should do. Just make sure your sales engine is working well. You've identified your ideal customer profile in this particular new age, and understand that customer user journey and track that really, really well. Make sure you position your offering in a mission critical way, and own a category in the customer's mind, and drive through for low cost engagement in today's world, which with the most obvious answer today for that is product-led growth.
Thanks, Amit. That is really insightful, and I'm sure all the founders out there would love to implement these strategies that you shared. So thank you for these. I'm sure there is much more that our audience would like to ask you, but just for lack of time, we will take a pause here. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, and all the very best. And please stay safe. Thanks for having me over, and wishing everybody the very best. Thanks.
Thank you so very much, Madhurima and Samir. Well, as they said, it was definitely very, very, very insightful for every single person who's watching out there. Let's give them a big round of applause one more time, everyone. On that note, I take you to our next segment. Well, the next segment is I take you back in time, where I asked you question number 2. Well, the quiz number 2 question was very simple. We asked you, what is the preferred stage and business model of a startup participating in NetApp Accelerator? And the right answer, is it option A? Is it option B? Is it option C? Is it option D? Let me actually act like a computer. D, C, A, B, and let's see what stops where, and it goes on, because the right answer is option D. The option D is the right answer, which is growth stage B2B. Let's give a big round of applause for every single person who got that right, and the fastest 3 who got it right, and the ones who were the fastest are these 3 special winners. Let's give them a big round of applause. As I say again and again, if you see a name here, hug the ones who are right next to you, because you really deserve that. And we really need that positivity to make this place a better place. So congratulations once again. You are the lucky winners of that voucher. Is this done? It's not done yet, because I'm going to give you another chance to win that voucher again. How is that? The protocol, the norms are the same. And this time it is question number 3. And the question is, who is the first ever robo to receive citizenship of any country? A very, very informative question. Who is the first ever robo to receive citizenship of any country? Is it option A, Sonia? Is it option B, Julia? Is it option C, Sophia? Or is it option D, Sarah? Your options, your question is all yours. Be the fastest to give as that right answer. Your time has started. Get onto the chat box, give us that right answer, take away that special gift voucher. Your time has got starting, go for it. With the question, we come to the next segment. Well, in this segment, ladies and gentlemen, it is the most awaited part of this entire show. I'm sure you've all guessed it, and you have guessed it absolutely right. And we are talking about our very own startup pitches. Well, our startup pitches of Cohort 6 is going to take it over, but the work, what you're going to see right now is, ladies and gentlemen, presented in this journey that began in April this year. Well, it's been an absolute incredible, fantastic learning and a very, very informative journey for all of us in the last 4 months. But yes, right there, a lot of you might have a lot of questions. You need to answer, you need to know what this is, you need to know what that meant. Calm down. You have an answer to every question. How? If you have a question, shoot them onto our chat box. Give us those very important questions. Your questions will definitely be answered. Also, I'd like to get your attention to our very special handbook. Well, this special handbook, which is going to be in our hands out tab, which is right on the top right hand side corner. Just click on that corner screen to experience the handbook at the very own hands out section. All said, all done, and all ready to present to you our first startup. Ladies and gentlemen, the first demo is going to be a very special one. We'd like to introduce you to the first one. Is none other than CubeSafe. And to talk more about them and to tell us what they have to offer, what they have put together, please welcome none other than the very own mentor, Pranup Irasani, Senior Technical Director, NetApp.
I lead ONTAP data production engineering team at NetApp. My primary responsibility is to make sure that ONTAP data production stack is optimized for new applications and emerging application ecosystems. As more and more customers prefer public cloud for deployment of applications, it is imperative that we offer an ability to protect application data no matter where the application is, on-prem and the cloud. Naturally, hybrid cloud data production services has become a very big area of focus for NetApp. In talking with CubeSafe, we found that both of us share the common vision of the trend and the opportunity that the Kubernetes ecosystems offers to the hybrid cloud. The team at CubeSafe has extensive experience with Kubernetes. Vijay and Swami co-founded CubeSafe in 2019, and they have extensive experience delivering innovative products to the market. CubeSafe manages the production of Kubernetes application by leveraging the strengths of the underlying storage. As part of this accelerator engagement, CubeSafe is developing an adapter to leverage NetApp native features like Snapshot and SnapMirror to produce a highly efficient and high performance backup solution for Kubernetes ecosystem. I'm confident both CubeSafe and NetApp will benefit from this engagement, and I wish CubeSafe success in their endeavors.
Last month, Nashville's emergency services were down for nearly a week as a city got hit by a ransomware attack. In the UK, last year, a disgruntled former employee of a marketing firm deleted 23 AWS servers from his employer's account. For any enterprise IT operation, you naturally require backups to recover from such incidents, which are a lot more common and frequent now. Such events are occurring across large organizations in some shape or form every single day. For most traditional IT applications, there is enough choice for how to back up and retrieve data. For modern cloud-native applications, however, it's a different story. These applications are typically packaged in containers and deployed as a set of microservices. Kubernetes is the popular orchestration framework used to deploy and scale these containers. For these kinds of modern applications, current backup technologies quickly fall short. Existing backup solutions end up copying an entire virtual machine or an entire cluster, which typically contains thousands of applications. It is like if you're backing up your family photographs, you may want to group them into albums and upload the albums to a cloud provider. Imagine if every time you added a photo, you had to upload another copy of all the albums to the cloud. Or if you need to retrieve a photo that you had accidentally deleted and found that you had to download all the photos from all your albums to get to the one you lost. That is how inefficient the current backup solutions are for modern cloud-native applications. Welcome to KubeSafe. We are solving this very pain point at scale. Compared with traditional backup solutions, we focus on protecting applications rather than nodes or virtual machines. Unlike other container backup solutions, we take advantage of modern storage system capabilities for efficient snapshot differencing. Therefore, each backup takes less space, happens quicker, and hence a lot more economical to backup frequently. KubeSafe is an application protection software custom built for Kubernetes. It is focused on applications and groups of applications called namespaces. It backs up application or namespaces in a way that takes advantage of all the efficiencies and optimizations of the underlying storage. KubeSafe runs on all major distributions of Kubernetes and will work with all major storage infrastructures. Yet, it is simple to use, requiring no specialized Kubernetes expertise. Here is a quick demo. To get started, KubeSafe software helps you find applications and namespaces in your deployment that are not yet protected. This is a project or namespace that has 2 applications in it that are unprotected. It is a one-click process to create an application backup right now. This captures the application state and all of its data into a recovery point. Most of your applications require backups on a schedule. KubeSafe has a set of policies that you can use to take backup on a schedule, both locally or to a remote cluster. You can use the recovery point that KubeSafe creates to restore an application to its previous state. Or you can switch to the content of the backup cluster, in this case to AWS, to create a new copy of the application for analysis or test and development. Now you've got a copy of the application running in a different cluster. As part of the NetApp Accelerator program, we have integrated with ONTAP storage. NetApp customers can now protect their Kubernetes applications running on-prem or in the cloud and seamlessly migrate from non-NetApp storage to NetApp. A true hybrid cloud solution. We are now running early validation of our product with 2 different financial institutions in North America. As part of the early testing, we have seen an improvement in backup and recovery times by an order of magnitude, plus a 2/3 reduction in the amount of storage required. You can well imagine the potential financial benefit. Earlier this week, we released our software on the AWS marketplace, and we are seeing active interest from our potential customer base. In 2 weeks, we'll be releasing an on-prem version of our software for Red Hat's OpenShift container platform. I am Swami Ramani, CEO. I have a deep background in data management and storage, and I have previously worked at NetApp. Vijay is our COO with over 2 decades of operational experience. Siddharth is our VP product, who was previously with Google and Oracle Cloud Platforms. Our team of Kubernetes developers are based in Silicon Valley and Bangalore. Over the next 6 months, we'll bring to market various storage integrations, starting with NetApp, as well as integrate with other Kubernetes distributions. Our vision is to be the market leader in application protection for Kubernetes-based hybrid cloud environments. We would love to talk more about this for your interest in a pilot, a potential investment, or a partnership. Let's connect.
Thank you so very much, CubeSafe. That was absolutely brilliant. Thank you so very much. Without any further delay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to present to you our next startup. Well, our next startup is none other than Acorn Labs. Well, to introduce them and to tell us more about, I'm going to call on their mentor, none other than Kiranjit Purba, Head Vehicle Monetization at Gojek and Director Promogo, a Gojek company. Let's give it up for none other than Acorn Labs.
I'm Kiranjit Purba. I work at Gojek. Gojek is a startup that is based out of Jakarta, and I lead vehicle monetization for them. By extension, I also run one of their subsidiaries known as Promogo. We first met ICANN last year in 2019 when our product team and operations team respectively were looking for a solution to better manage our inventory or assets. When I refer to them, I mean our digital screens. And as you would understand, in this day and age with Internet of Things being a big priority, ensuring that our assets that we deployed, independent of our ad stack, was a scalable operational process. Now, we all know that in any business, the idea is only as good as it's executed and operated. So when we were looking to see how do we manage thousands of screens that are deployed everywhere, in Jakarta in this instance, and how do we ensure that the device from a hardware perspective, we understood its behaviors, how it reacts, what it does, what it says to us, ICANN's product solution seemed to fit the bill. And in reality, today, we caught up with the team, we got things done, and now ICANN has given us that opportunity to be able to run these mobile, digitally programmatic advertising screens at scale while being able to understand very pertinent data points about our hardware. Therefore, I would say that I think the use case for Promogo is one. However, in the future where the Internet of Things becomes front of mind and becomes 5G enabled, and when we are able to process data at higher speeds, ICANN's product, in my view, will have a very, very mainstream use case. So I just want to shout out to the boys. Well done. You guys have great work ethic. You guys are great hustlers. And I think that fact that you guys pool those resources together and really have a solution that could help us, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. And I wish you all the best in your journey. Take care. Thank you.
is the estimated number of computing devices that will exist by 2025, according to IBM. Around the same time, 75% of all the data processed globally will be outside the data center. On the edge computing, that's now rapidly growing, effectively removes the need to access the cloud for decision making. It provides real-time data analytics on device for applications ranging from smart meters to autonomous vehicle, industrial IoT to digital signage. A classic example could be smart autonomous vehicle where decisions are made on powerful onboard computers rather than the cloud. Or it could be video analytics application in industrial manufacturing where decision making happens on factory floor computers. However, the challenging reality is many of these edge computing devices are in remote and difficult to access location far from the main data center. I want to bring up here two unique challenges of edge computing environment in contrast with the centralized data center. Number one, lack of IT staff on site. And number two, a large number of sites which are geographically dispersed. This makes edge computing sites less reliable to run business critical applications. For enterprises engaged in edge computing application, a critical success factor is ability to monitor and manage the systems remotely. Aecon is reimagining orchestration and management of edge computing applications. Welcome to Aecon. We are building application orchestration and device management system for IoT edge. Based on what we have learned from a few deployments, what our customers really look for is to monitor application and devices performance and figure out ways to improve the performance and identify the root cause for failures. Performance monitoring on 10,000 devices, for example, is a tremendous task. At Aecon, we bring data analytics into operations and management of edge computing sites. We use system telemetry data collected from devices and application to identify failures and suboptimal operations of applications and devices. Our analytics-based management system is helping IT teams to increase the uptime of applications running on the IoT edge and reduce the operation cost of managing huge population of remotely connected devices. For instance, when an augmented reality application used in branding and advertisement fails, you're losing revenue. Can the operator identify failure before public notice it? How quickly can you fix it? With analytics approach, we can alert possible failure and help identify root cause for failure. Thanks to NetApp, we have good exposure to big enterprise, understand their pain points in managing edge computing sites. It is the scale that's all about, and our journey with NetApp reiterated it. We are serving 7 enterprise customers who would be running close to 20,000 devices by this year end. Our customers range from smart vehicles to content caching, industrial IoT to video analytics, digital signage to smart energy. As every piece of equipment in an enterprise becomes a computer, the job of IT management becomes more complex. As per the survey by Gartner, up to 55% of edge computing spending is on operations and management, unlike enterprise and cloud environment.
With the market growing at 37% CAGR, irrespective of the total market size, which by the way is around $45 billion, this market is set up for a hockey stick growth. The founding team and the core engineering team come from organizations that have built the internet. I'm Chetan, CEO and co-founder. Before starting AECOM, had 20 years of experience working at Cisco Systems, Alcatel-Lucent, Juniper Networks, and startup. I worked with Pranay Devnath, our CTO and co-founder, while at Alcatel-Lucent, and Siddharth, our COO and co-founder, worked with me at Cisco Systems. We are eager now to expand and also actively engage and extend NetApp relationship. We would love to speak with you about your interest in pilots, potential investment, or even joint research. Thanks for joining our demo day today.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Aecon Labs for all you people out there. Without wasting any time, I'm going to present to you our next startup. And our next startup is none other than Mylan Foundry. To tell us more about this, I would like to introduce you to the mentor, Greg Keller, Vice President, Engineering, NetApp.
Good day. Often innovation is focused on developing and delivering capabilities that allow businesses to compete for the funds that other companies and individuals are willing to spend for goods and services in markets that are well-financed and successful. It is rare to find creativity and innovation focused on helping those that may be disadvantaged financially, or those in remote areas of developing countries, or those that don't have access to the technologies that may be the norm in other parts of the world. There are billions of people that are in this situation, and it is both an underserved market as well as an opportunity to make a difference in their lives. Mylan Foundry has taken a unique approach to this opportunity. It has democratized high-quality 4K HD video, making the HD experience available to populations that may not have the benefits of 5G or even 4G cellular bandwidths. Their vision to transform visual experiences and personalized outcomes has the potential to significantly level the playing field for a large portion of the world. It does this by leveraging AI to reduce the cost of streaming video to mobile devices, which allows the distribution of educational materials, sporting events, and other HD video content to those in areas that have lower bandwidth available, or the affordability of the bandwidth is an issue. As with many innovations, this technology can also be applied to other use cases, such as adding the ability to engage with sporting events so that fans can gain insight into the video stream. With the NetApp, we have been looking at how Mylan Foundry's technology could apply to our own data management use cases. If successful, we may be able to provide higher levels of storage efficiency to our customers at a fraction of the compute cost typically required for some data stores. It is my honor and privilege to introduce Mylan Foundry, one of the NetApp Accelerator Cohort 6 participants, to Demo Day. I hope you have a great Demo Day, and thank you very much.
A million minutes of video are being streamed online every second. 6 out of 10 people today prefer online video over television. With a $150 billion market size by 2026, video streaming is indeed here to stay. While the demand for streaming is growing at a breakneck pace, the biggest challenge that OTT providers face today is internet bandwidth. The cost of streaming is as high as 15% of the top line of an OTT player, but there is still little control over the end user's quality of experience. While 5G coming in is being hailed as a panacea that will solve all kinds of problems, it may not be sufficient for the next billion users coming online. Think about the road traffic for a country like India. When a highway adds more lanes, it actually solves the problem of traffic, but temporarily. Until the point, many more cars start deciding to use that highway, and we are straight back to hour-long traffic jams. Now visualize the internet, with tons of video data being transferred every minute, so people can consume content, they can work, they can engage. While improvement in the infrastructure actually increases the capacity of the network, it is far outweighed by the demand of the next generation of streamers. Think cloud gaming, virtual reality, sports streaming. All of these new forms of content choke the network, and it results in the end user facing issues of video quality, buffering, and pixelation. Now imagine a technology that can reduce the volume of video data being transferred from point to point while giving the end user a video quality that they deserve. Welcome to Mylan Foundry. Using the power of the consumer edge, we have built Fovea Stream. Fovea enables OTT players to stream content at a very low resolution and file size, while we sit on the end user's device in the viewer app and intelligently upscale and enhance the video quality to give a smooth HD experience to end users. This enables OTT players to reduce their streaming costs by up to 40%, while giving improved video quality even in low network areas, while also reducing their overall carbon footprint. Here we have a demo of the Fovea solution, where on the left-hand side, what you can see is a low-resolution video being streamed, and on the right-hand side is a real-time Fovea enhanced video quality on an end user's device. With NetApp, we are exploring how we can use our content-aware and device-aware AI techniques to provide more efficient video storage and transmission solutions. We are currently piloting with 3 large-scale OTT and EdTech players in India, helping them scale into low network areas while reducing the cost of streaming and improving their video quality. Most of the video streaming players who are looking to improve streaming are either doing that by optimizing the network or by optimizing the compression of the video on the server side. What none of the players are doing today is using the power of the consumer edge device to give a smooth device-aware viewer experience the way Mylan is. My name is Aditi Oliman, and I'm one of the co-founders and I head marketing for Mylan Foundry. I have prior experience in setting up a technology and innovation fund for the Tata Group. Our founder and CEO, Dr. Gopichan Katragadda, is the former CTO of the Tata Group and also the former managing director of GE's largest R&D center in the world. He brings in global leadership experience in technology and innovation. Our third co-founder and CTO, Ganesh Suryanarayanan, brings in deep system-on-chip experience from his time in companies such as Intel and LSI Logic. He also has prior experience founding a company. Our COO, Sridhar Vaidyanathan, brings in finance and operations experience from his time in companies such as BNP Paribas and Investec. Overall, our team has very strong expertise in AI, deep learning, and video solutioning from companies such as Intel, GE, and the Tata Group. As part of our product pipeline, we are also customizing Fovea Stream to accelerate the nascent cloud gaming market by solving some of the last mile bandwidth issues that exist in order to give a smooth gaming experience. Our ability to sit on the end user's device gives us powerful insights about the context of the user, thus enabling personalized experiences for the user and better monetization for the OTT players. We are very excited to explore how we can add value to your video streaming requirements. Thank you so much for joining us on our demo day. Let us connect.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mail-in Foundry for you. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you so much for presenting that. And now we move on to our next one. I'd like to introduce you to our next startup, and that is iQlect. Well, to talk more about them, I'd like to call upon their mentor. That's none other than Biren Fondekar, Chief Transformation Officer, NetApp.
Hi, my name is Biren Fondekar and I lead the transformation office at NetApp. Our focus is around digital transformation to help improve customer experience. As companies around the globe drive their digital transformation initiatives, they're looking to engage digitally and drive better business outcomes based on data. For example, improving operational intelligence by using predictive and real-time data analytics on the data that they generate. This data could be anything from clickstream data to machine telemetry data to log data. iQlect is at the forefront of real-time and predictive data analytics to monitor and predict user and machine behavior. Their platform has solved some complex data challenges for enterprises like Accenture, Cisco, and SAP. At NetApp, iQlect is currently working with the Public Cloud Services business unit to pilot failure predictions based on log analysis of our Cloud Volume Service and to build a predictive resource and capacity analysis for this service. iQlect has built a converged NoSQL database from the ground up called BangDB, which is at the center of their data analytics platform. This allows them to provide a scalable and integrated platform for real-time analytics, which is a key requirement for a data-driven transformation.
41.6 billion is the estimated number of connected IoT devices or things, generating 79.4 zettabytes of data in 2025, according to a new forecast from IDC. In 5 years, around half of the global data sphere will come from these devices, compared to less than 5% today. Rise of real-time data is the rapidly growing new phenomenon. There is a big shift happening in the way data is being generated, analyzed, and consumed. The world has moved away from limited data to explosion of data, from few data sources to many data sources, like sensors, logs, social, from all structured data to mostly unstructured data, from low-speed data to fast-moving data, from offline reporting to real-time decision-making. Most of the existing traditional tools or platforms in the market are designed for this new phenomenon. Let's find out several gaps and limitations that we have in the market as of now. Most of the data platforms don't have an integrated ML or a streaming system. AI and data streaming should be part of the system. Most of the platforms don't work within a device. Device analytics should be natively integrated. Most of the systems are in-memory only computing model, which is very limiting, whereas software should leverage hardware in totally different ways. Further, lack of simple and cost-effective way to get started is the need of the hour. Welcome to BangDB, a converged future-ready NoSQL database for fast-moving data. BangDB allows users to deal with real-time streaming data, ingesting all kinds of data as they are generated, edge computing, identify patterns at the source and local analytics within the devices. Integration of AI and ops. Leverage AI as native citizen of the database. Continuous intelligence. Integrate intelligence with the business operations in real time. BangDB is the world's first converged NoSQL database and analytic platform to handle the rise of real-time data. It is a fusion of NoSQL, AI, stream operations to address the above-mentioned challenges. At NetApp, Acculect has been assigned 2 problems. 1, log analysis for predicting disruption and failure in the operations. 2, predictive resource and capacity analysis. We have so far generated revenue from BankDB Enterprise, which we provide to the enterprises on subscription model. We have 25 plus apps in our app store built on top of BankDB, offered as a SaaS. We have 12 plus enterprise customers, which include Accenture, Cisco, SAP, Opera, and 200 plus SaaS licenses with over 2,500 users. And BankDB has over 100,000 users as we speak. We are hyper-focused in NoSQL market, real-time predictive event processing for IoT, and real-time personalization with a combined $40 billion market size. BankDB is designed and developed to solve the problem from ground up. We have created a smart, powerful, yet simple system to deal with the new kind of data and use cases emerging out of it in a cost-effective and accelerated time-to-market manner. We have first movers advantages, here backed with over dozens of US patents in database, IO layer, streaming, and CP, allowing us to grow and scale at a rapid pace in completely unique manner. Let me give you a sneak peek of BankDB, which is a unique combination of NoSQL, AI, and Stream, where with few clicks you can create apps for your domain, ingest and visualize the data. You can also analyze the system data and log data using SQL language. You may correlate different data sets and find anomalies to get the root cause done in an intuitive way. One may use pattern detection in absolute manner using CP or in probabilistic manner using AI and set the processing on autopilot mode for continuous analysis. The CLI allows user to interact with BankDB using SQL. BankDB also has integrated deep learning capabilities using which users in a very simple manner can do complex image analysis, identify objects, search for patterns, and so many complex and advanced processing. I am Sachin, founder and CEO and author of BankDB. Prior to Acculect, I have built and led strong teams in Jabong as CTO, LimeRoad as co-founder and CTO, and senior leadership at Amazon and Microsoft. I am a BTech from IIT Kanpur. Liputan is one of the prominent investors and active advisors we have. He is the CEO of Cadence Systems and on board of Schneider Electrical Energy, SoftBank, and HP, and many others. Mac is heading marketing and also helping with the enterprise sales. We are looking forward to collaborate with NetApp for following. 1. A potential go-to-market strategy for a combined offering. And 2. Potential integration of BankDB for a set of use cases within NetApp. Thank you for joining us on the demo day today. Let's talk further.
Well, yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Acculect for all you people out there. Thank you so much for presenting to us. Without wasting much time, I take you to our next startup. And the next startup is going to be Cyborg Intel. And to talk more about them, I would like to invite their mentor, that is Anil Gaur, Vice President, Engineering, NetApp.
Hi, this is Anil Gaur, VP Engineering at NetApp. AI has been playing an integral role in the digital transformation today. It enables better business decisions faster, which makes a huge difference in the cloud world where speed is the currency. Cyborg Intel was proudly selected as part of NetApp's Accelerator program. It brings a highly differentiated and innovative auto AI solution to the industry. Cyborg Intel looks at data science as a combination of science as well as art. They ingest your data from various sources, apply their AI magic to it, turning that into actionable insights that can be leveraged to deliver business value in real time. I'm excited to share that Cyborg Intel is already adding value to NetApp in 2 different projects. First one is an AI-driven sizing tool, which can recommend right hardware size to our customers. In partnership, we are developing machine learning models to predict and estimate CPU utilization, read-write latency, disk performance, and much more. The second project is about predicting potential system failures proactively by mining data from logs and applying machine learning to it. It's my pleasure to introduce Suman Singh to you as the founder of Cyborg Intel. Suman and his leadership team are bringing together many years of rich and diverse experience in data science. Leadership is the soul of any organization. Suman has built a strong team that's talented, passionate, and hungry to make a major impact in the industry.
2.5 quintillion bytes of data is generated daily at present. In the near future, that will mean 1.7 MB data per second per person. With such a vast volume of data at their disposal, natural thought of most organizations would be analytics to drive strategic business decisions. Let's dig further. Financial institutions alone believe that AI can help them save around $1 trillion in a projected cost by 2035. So it is no surprise that 1 out of 5 financial institutions have ramped up their investment in AI. Sounds promising, right? But here's the one thing most companies struggle with. Over 55% take more than 90 days to deploy an AI model that will help them make well-informed decisions. As a business head, if you had to wait 90 days to deploy an AI model to make a data-driven decisions, what would that mean for your bottom line? So, how can you make faster and accurate decisions with such a vast amount of data? Well, you can hire a lot of data scientists. You can make them passionate about your business, wait for them to understand your data, develop predictive models, and then convert those into actionable strategy. And if the results don't align to the outcome you want, then you can start much of the process again. Or imagine this, if you had a system that allows you to leverage data from across your business to get real-time insights and make highly accurate decisions to solve problems like improving customer experience, growing revenue, optimizing cost, and reducing risk exposure. All this without huge investment in technologies and resources. And in just a couple of hours. Welcome to Cyborg Intel. Our cohesive end-to-end data science machine learning platform automates the entire process of data preparation and model development in a couple of hours. And all of this just with a single click and zero code. It helps you not to only make business decisions in real time, but also prevents AI failure by managing model performance through continuous learning. It provides you the ability to govern and audit the data, model, processes, and code. So how are we different? AI for everyone can easily be used by analysts, technologists, data scientists, and business leaders. And not just to develop models, but also to monitor, audit, and govern them to proactively prevent AI failure. A holistic platform that delivers a seamless experience, and it is scalable across business functions and use cases. Explainability at transaction level make you confident while taking a business decisions in real time. And that doesn't come at the cost of performance. Best practices and proprietary algorithms helps you realize incremental business benefit with the higher accuracy. Let me give you an example. An organization focused on sales and marketing of insurance products wanted to improve lead quality and client conversion, and that had hired a team of 3 data scientists, and that had used multiple software, and still took 12 weeks to build a lead generation model. Cyborg Intel developed a predictive model in just 70 minutes that resulted
in over 65% incremental lift on a lead conversion as compared to previous campaigns. And ROI on the campaign improved by 45%. Here's another one. A leading educational lending company had an issue where 18% of potential new customers were not taking up a loan post-approval, which meant the company didn't make revenue versus cost of acquisition. With the iTuring's models, we helped the business to improve loan take-up rate by 14% and saw a 15% reduction in a loan non-take-up while assessing the risk of customers during origination. Each 5% of improvement is worth of $200,000 USD to the company in reduced cost and improved revenue. That is the power of Cyborg Intel's Auto AI platform. Take the example of our work with NetApp. We have deployed our platform iTuring on ONTAP.ai, one of the world's leading cloud computing and data storage company. And we have executed more than 130 machine learning projects in one go with a single click. Cyborg Intel gives you the ability to develop, deploy, and operationalize dynamic and explainable AI applications at scale with machine learning DevOps capabilities. And it's seamless to integrate with existing architecture through REST APIs. Our initial focus is on banking and insurance verticals. Our go-to-market is driven through direct sales, resellers, partnership with strategic fintech company, and is designed for a global scale. This gives us an addressable market of $20 billion, but with the platform that is data and industry agnostic, over the next 2 years, our target addressable market expands to more than $77 billion, covering other sectors such as healthcare and retail. Going ahead, our focus will be on a vertical product that caters to a specific business use cases driven by client needs. And we will continue to invest in enhancing our platform and stay innovative. I am Suman Singh, founder and CEO of Cyborg Intel. I have a rich background in data science and have worked enterprise fintech companies like Pfizer and Jafin, building analytical products and solutions for a leading financial institutions. Amit Kumar and Mohammad Nawaz, our co-founders, have been an architect of multiple technology products at a leading technologies company over the last 2 decades. And together they head product solutioning and delivery. Divya Bathija, our MD for Europe and Middle East, brings experience in banking and financial services, leading digital transformation and enabling businesses with the technology solution to support the strategy. Brian McCulkin, our MD in Africa, brings extensive experience in BFSI and have played executive roles for a leading South African banks and insurance companies. In the next 12 months, we are extremely excited to take our product global with an aggressive but well-thought go-to-market strategy. We are currently pitching to potential investors and clients and would love the opportunity to interact with those interested among the audience today. Thank you for joining this evening. Let's talk.
Alrighty, well that was Cyborg Intel for all you people out there. With that, ladies and gentlemen, from one startup to another startup, let's see who do we have next. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to our last startup for the day. Yes, you heard it right. We're going to have the last startup presenting what they have to offer. I would like to call upon our next startup, that is Cohort. Well, to talk more about them, I'd like to call upon their mentor, that is Bill Berg, Senior Vice President, Operations, NetApp.
Hi, I'm Bill Berg, NetApp's Senior Vice President of Global Operations, and today I have the great privilege of introducing to this forum Dr. Prapul Chandra, the founder of Cohort. Prapul has leveraged more than 2 decades of industry experience and experience as professor of machine learning to identify the underlying data challenge that many companies across the globe are facing. He's put together a great team and created a solution known as Markets N. Over the past 3 years, the team has built this platform using a unique combination of public and private blockchains, ensuring compatibility with technologies like ERP systems, cloud, data storage, and data mining. Now you may ask, why was NetApp interested in CoinOrth and why are they part of this program? Well, we both have a fundamental belief in data management as a key resource for companies. Companies around the world today have invested in managing, mining, and protecting their data. Across industries, data is now one of the most valuable non-tangible assets we have. An unfortunate side effect, however, is that many enterprises aren't willing to share this data with business partners, even when it can be a win-win value proposition for them. CoinOrth's strategy of using a blockchain-based platform to enable secure, auditable data sharing across the enterprise is a unique value proposition. It has the potential to enable trusted data sharing across enterprises, creating a value multiplier for both sides. Starting with supply chain operations, which is inherently conducive for sharing data, CoinOrth's platform allows supply chains to deliver faster, to reduce their operating costs, all while having organizations maintain control over data as an asset. Now, in terms of the collaboration between NetApp and CoinOrth, we're looking at combining NetApp's storage solutions with CoinOrth's blockchain-based market-end platform to enable secure and auditable sharing of data across our supply chain partnerships. The objective here is to have organizations that have complete control of the data they share, with whom they share it, and for how long. And the user should be able to do this with complete trust in the underlying technology and enforcing the access rules in a provable way. We look forward to piloting CoinOrth's solutions in our supply chain business and seeing where else we may have applicability across NetApp. Thank you.
Last year, IBM freed up close to $50 million in capital that was tied up in supply chain disputes. It also reduced the average dispute resolution time from 45 days to 10 days. Freeing up working capital is a priority not only for large enterprises like IBM, but for smaller businesses too. In fact, one of the greatest challenges for SMEs are delayed payments. Delayed payments, disputes, and disagreements are in fact all symptoms of a more fundamental problem in supply chains: data silos. Each organization today maintains its own records and exchanges information with supply chain partners to coordinate, synchronize, and reconcile transactions. Transactions that are not in agreement require time-consuming research, revision, reconciliation, negotiation, and hopefully settlement. Data silos across organizations are often hiding in plain sight. In 2015, the stock price of the American retailer Lumber Liquidators fell from $52 to $16 when lack of data sharing across the supply chain led them to sell Chinese-made laminate flooring products that contained levels of formaldehyde that were 20 times California's standard safe level. As another example, consider that it takes less than a week to move a container from India to Malaysia. The paperwork takes longer. Not surprising when you consider the number of organizations involved, each with their records database which must be reconciled. Shipper, the road carrier, the ocean carrier, port authorities, custom authorities, and consignee. The administrative cost of the paperwork is almost as much as the cost of the shipment itself. Welcome to CoinOrth and our flagship solution, Markets N. With Markets N, we have flipped the problem on its head so that data silos do not arise in the first place. Supply chain transactions are recorded in a shared, secure, auditable ledger. Even though each organization can hold a private copy of records, synchronization and reconciliation are pushed to the underlying blockchain technology. Every organization in the supply chain sees the same information in real time, backed with an auditable trail. This improves speed and on-time in-full performance. In one deployment, Markets N integrated a 4-tier supply chain of 26 companies, including contract manufacturers, brand owner, raw material supplier, and packaging suppliers. This enabled optimization of inventories by 8% along the supply chain to avoid duplicate buffers while still ensuring the ability to deliver. Think of MarketSend as the data silo killer. By removing data silos between your supplier and banks, for example, MarketSend can reduce the cost of capital in your supply chain. Suppliers often have to wait weeks and pay as much as 15% for working capital loans. By lowering these costs and access time, MarketSend improves the resilience and agility of the whole supply chain. By bridging data silos in your distribution channels, you can protect your brand with digitally traceable warranty, ownership, and authenticity certificates. As customers' willingness to pay for sustainable products increases, we are expanding MarketSend functionality to allow you to establish provable sustainability credentials of your products. We believe that the ROI for organizations using MarketSend can be up to 1% of revenue. In our collaboration with NetApp, we are exploring the extension of MarketSend to treat data as an asset. The challenge we are addressing is breaking data silos while still ensuring compliance and security. Can we have data storage solutions which offer functionality like proof of deletion and proof of read access? These are interesting problems with huge commercial potential in an economy where data is the new oil. MarketSend is the outcome of more than 2 years of dedicated work by the CoinEarth team. Starting with a 3-member team, today we are a team of 15. I'm Praful, the founder and CEO. Jay, Deep, Vishal, and Abhishek are responsible for the smart contract layer. Gaurang and Kunal own the DevOps layer, which enables blockchain as a service. Arvind, Lalit, and Varun handle the user interface and API layer. Arun, Amit, and Krishnaveni make sure that the product works and that our customers are satisfied. A team I'm very proud of. We have a long way to go, but we do believe we are building the future. In the next 12 months, we are excited to take our product global with a well-planned client focus. We are currently pitching to potential investors and clients and would love the opportunity to further interact with those interested among the audience today. Thank you for joining this evening. Let's talk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was CoinEarth, and with CoinEarth, we come to the end of every single startup for the day. Let's give them a big round of applause because we've had an absolutely incredible session with every single startup has something really great to offer. Well, that was the startup, and now I take you back in time. When I say take you back in time, it's a time where I give you a chance to win that gift voucher. I asked you quiz question number 3, and I will give you the answer for it. Fasten your seatbelts, because it's time. Who could be that winner? I asked you a question which said, who is the first ever robot to receive citizenship of any country? Well, we had different answers. We had Julia, we had Sophia, we had Sarah, everything. Who do you think is the right answer? And the answer, it is option A, wrong answer. I'm not going to give out so easily because this is the one which you have been waiting for a long time. Okay. Is that what the heartbeat is going like? Let's go. The answer is, it is option B. Sophia is the right answer. Let's give a big round of applause for the ones who got it right. Let's give a big round of hand. Sophia, the right answer. Let's see, option C is going to give out the right answer for all of us. Sophia. Okay? And if you've got that right, but most important, you should have got that fastest. And the names are these. If your name is here, the drill remains the same. Hug the one who's right next to you. Jump, dance, do whatever you want to, because you have won yourself this special gift voucher. Congratulations to the winner, and I would like to say a big thank you for being the fastest in that segment. Well, now we all have finished with all our presentations. Let's move on from startups to the quiz answer. Let's move on to a very special segment. Well, in the poll tab, we have a very special segment where we want to know what your opinion is. What do you think about it? What do you think is right? What do you think is strong? What do you think is best? Because it's your opinion. And that's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special tab which is set up with some questions. Well, these questions are not quiz questions. Well, these are the poll questions for all you people out there. So we want you to give us your vote and tell us what you think about this particular question. So head out to our poll tab to give out your poll opinion. Very simple. I ask you a question and I'll give you those options. Any which ways you're going to see that on your screen. But still, I'll read this out for you. Who, in your opinion, has the strongest team? Who, in your opinion, has the strongest team? Is it Acorn Labs, IQLect, Cyborg Intel, Coin Earth, Cubed Safe, Merlin Foundry? Well, it is again option A, B, C, D, E, and F. Well, that is your first poll question. As I said, head to the poll segment, give us your poll, and let us know what you think. This is question number 1. Now, the question number 2. Who, in your opinion, amongst the following will be the fastest unicorn? Who, in your opinion, amongst the following would be the fastest unicorn? Let's see who you think it is. The first one is it Acorn Labs, or B, IQLect, or C, Cyborg Intel, or D, Coin Earth, or E, CubeSafe, or F, Merlin Foundry? Remember, we need to know what you think. That's the reason we want your poll answer. Please make sure you head to the poll segment and give us your poll opinion. Thank you. While reminding you about giving your opinion, we also remind you about tweeting. You know the handle, you know the hashtag. Handle is NetApp India and the hashtag is NetApp Accelerator. Remember to use the hashtag, remember to tag the handle. Let the world know what we are celebrating today, what we all are here and making this evening an absolutely accelerating evening with NetApp Excellerator. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to a very interesting discussion coming up for you. Well, I would like to invite our first person to be a part of the discussion. Well, he is the Managing Director for NetApp India and oversees the strategic direction of NetApp's Global Center of Excellence located at Bangalore. Well, as the Vice President of Engineering, he heads an innovation-driven engineering organization delivering value on NetApp's big data platform, analytics, software, and tools to improve operational outcomes for customers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, with a big round of applause, none other than Mr. Ravi Chabria. Let's give a big round of applause, everybody. And joining Mr. Ravi Chabria in this discussion, please welcome none other than the CEO and founder of MyGate, none other than Mr. Vijay Kumar. Let's have a big round of applause for them, everybody. Well, while Ravi and Vijay are here to have an insightful, a very special and a very interesting discussion, let me tell you what the topic is all about for the discussion. And the topic for this discussion is Seed to Scale, Powering Growth Journey. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's the topic. Seed to Scale, Powering Growth Journey. Without wasting any time, I'll leave it to these two gentlemen who are going to take it over. But for now, over to you, Ravi.
Well, welcome everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce Vijay Arisetti. Vijay is the co-founder and CEO of MyGate. He's an alumnus of the National Defense Academy. He spent 10 years as a helicopter pilot and in the Indian Air Force before he attended the Indian School of Business in Hyderabad. He was then a vice president at Goldman Sachs for a couple of years, and now he's on an entrepreneurial journey. He's a founder of a startup that we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about his journey. Vijay, foremost, is also the recipient of the Shaurya Chakra, which is a peacetime gallantry award for his rescue efforts during the 2004 tsunami. Welcome, Vijay.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you for hosting me.
Vijay, it's been quite a journey. Indian Air Force to being entrepreneur. I see the trend that being a risk taker might play somewhere in there. But can you talk us through that? How do you find yourself, Indian Air Force finding, in helicopters and running rescue missions and then coming down to the point where you're going down this journey?
Yeah. For me, the training at NDA and then Air Force and then finally my, job that I used to perform as a helicopter pilot, right? All of them, yes, risk taking there, right? But most of the risk taking was all calculated risk taking. And in fact, the way an armed forces, person is trained is, to take risks, but all are calculated risks, right? So yes, there is a DNA of risk taking, but mostly it is all calculated risk. And secondly, what I would say is, it's all first principle thinking, right? Whether it was, while flying a helicopter or doing, rescue mission when resources and, bandwidth was limited, it's all first principle thinking and decision making. And the same thing, I think, is the underlying denominator across, whether I was doing at Air Force or whether I was at Goldman Sachs into the investment banking team, or whether it's a startup and, a tech company, right? So I think all this, the common underlying principles are all both, in terms of, it's all, the first principle thinking and the calculated risk taking and decision making.
That's a very interesting way to put it. So it's not like you're making gambles both ways with life and with your business. You're very assured about, in some sense, or you have a clear perspective of what I think you're trying to accomplish. And then you make no assumptions. You're starting with things that from first principles, as you say.
Yeah.
That's nice. Let me ask you this now. Given that you are a few years into your journey as a startup, I think you started in 2016. What's that journey been like, that growth? What has it felt like? I mean, almost like 2016, you were literally nothing.
Yeah.
You've got a fairly good presence in the market today. What has that felt like? Was it all smooth? Did you plan it all out, like you said?
It was, the plan was, I think when we got into this space, right, we did a lot of analysis in terms of, how is this space shaping up, right? What we see in India, right, India specifically has got, unfortunately, we don't have a really good public infrastructure that meets the actual requirement, right? Like say, for example, today, if you see in the country, right, the roads, and especially in the urban cities, right, not every length and breadth of the road is, fully functional. In some of the places, you don't even get 24/7 power supply. Some of the places, the cleanliness and all those things are also an issue, right? So in India, what we generally tend to do is the people who have really a little bit of disposable income, they tend to stay in private properties, right? Because at these private properties, the security, the cleanliness, water, electricity, and all these things are taken care of, right? Commerce was coming to our doorsteps, right? If you see 10 years back, all of us used to go to shopping malls and buy, stuff, right? Or shopping areas and buy stuff. Today, click of a button, you can get anything and everything at your doorstep, right? So we started saying that commerce was coming to our doorstep. The number of, external people that are coming into these private properties increased. And, the security guards were following their own age-old process of, dealing with these people. So that was one thing which we saw, that there is a huge amount of friction because of this increased traffic. Third, what we saw is security industry as such, right? If you see any sector, right, whether it is, healthcare or fintech or, mobility or food, or every sector in India has gone through some of the other kind of technology transformation in the last 10 years, right?
Yeah.
But security industry, right, which was completely, it's one of the biggest industry, like it's a $20 billion industry in India and completely untouched by technology, right? And when we saw all these three things overlapping, right, we felt that this is the right time to, get something started in this space. And I think the calculation or the analysis that we did beforehand was very deep enough to understand that this product is actually required in the market. And if we go now, it will be successful. The time may be different, like say, it may get successful in 1 month's time, or we have to spend probably, 1.5 years in terms of gestation period for it to be successful. But
we were confident that the opportunity was there.
Yes.
We were quite confident about it. And so talking about your success, right, it's been very rapid growth. The numbers you're talking about, you've seen, how do you deal with that when you see tenfold growth?
Mm-hmm.
And again, as you say, it's a very complex system, right? So all the issues around scale, and gone are the days you're waiting there for 30 days to understand what's really happening. What was that like?
So I think growth comes with, very different kinds of challenges.
Yes.
I think in growth, the product challenges are the easiest ones to solve, right? Whether if it is a tech scaling up challenge or the product challenge, it's easy to solve. But when an organization is growing, right, when, we are growing from that 40 gated communities to 12,000 gated communities, that involves a lot of operational rigor also to get, to get that success, right? Not only the number of gated communities grew that much, but the number of people or our team members to make this successful, we were just 3 of us. From 3 of us, today we are 1,100 people, right? So more, I think we are spending more, like every time a company is 2x, then your problem statements completely change, right? When it is, you're just 3 of us, our problem statement was product market fit, let's get our first 100, 200 communities. When you have your first 100, 200 communities, and then 100 people into the company, then you have different type of problems to solve. You have to solve more people problem, organizational problem, what is the culture you need to set, what is the process and all those things, right? And then when we came to 5,000, it was both the product, scale, and, people problems, right? So continuously, whenever you're seeing that, organization is, growing 2x, your problem statement completely change. And I would say that every time a company grows 2x in a short span of time, right, you have to keep constantly rebooting every year, right? So that may require a technology intervention, that may require a culture intervention, that may require a people intervention, that may require a process intervention. At every level, there is an intervention.
What does that mean, reboot? It sounds very disruptive.
Yeah.
What does it practically mean?
So what it practically means is, as a startup, I don't have enough or say, so much of capital that I make an investment which will, which is required for next 20 years. Like, so for example,
you can't build it out forever.
Yeah. For me, it is like, initial days I had to build the system. I had 10 lakh rupees. We had to build the system. What is the technologies available? PHP is a easy this thing, and we built it on PHP, right? But when we hit 1,000 communities, the scale problems started coming, our notifications and all those things, the traffic was not being dealt so easily. So I had to move the entire infrastructure from PHP to say Java, right? So what happens is I'm again completely getting to, a new system.
Correct.
Initial days, we did it in a, web-friendly application, right? A web app kind of thing, right? And then at scale, when the brand becomes big, the expectation of people increases. When expectation of people increases, so you need to put more in terms of product and design. When you do the product and design, you now have to build native apps for all these things, right? We build the native apps, right? So at every stage, some of the other things, like this is, I'm just telling from the technology perspective. Similarly, from branding perspective also, right? Earlier, I'm only telling people about the product features. Now I need to tell more about what is the philosophy of the company and how, your required, outcome or your required, value is derived out of this company, right? So all those things, the language completely changes. When I was speaking initially to the investors in my seed stage investor, I'm only talking about product market fit, product market fit, product market fit. Right now, when I talk to investors, it's completely different conversation that I have, right? So as an individual, everything, I think me also, right? I have rebooted myself almost 3 times from, 2016, right? As an individual.
That's a fascinating part. And especially the part where you think about talking about rebooting yourself. And I can just imagine culture changes a lot. When you're 3 people, you're probably very connected on values and everything else. Culture is easy. Now, as you've grown to this size, you I think alluded to it. Early days, it was all about product market fit.
Yeah.
Now you're, I think, part of a much more complex ecosystem. So what is this role that you have around, what is the strategy you have around partnerships or engagement into a broader ecosystem? You're also in a more competitive space now. People are coming into your area, right? Geo Home is being introduced.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big money coming after this space.
Correct. So I think, this thing, right, this particular space in general, right, is, it requires a lot of dedication, right? It is not like an operating system that you build and you distribute it, right? It's not like a refrigerator. You have, you design a refrigerator, foolproof refrigerator, and thereafter it's, manufacture and distribute, manufacture, distribute, manufacture, distribute. This industry requires a lot of involvement, right? It's like, if you talk to any pilot, right, like I'm just giving you my experience, when you're flying in an aircraft, right, basically for the 3 hours of duration that you're flying, you're constantly thinking, right, 20 different scenarios that are likely to happen to this aircraft. I need to take action accordingly, right? Constantly you're thinking, because every time every second, the situation is changing, and every situation is different, and you're constantly recalibrating yourself and always on the fly to how to navigate, right? Similarly, if you see this industry, right, I'm dealing with, at the gate, there are, in India, if you see, there are, close to 150,000 gated communities, right, as per our estimate. Each and every gated community works differently. Each and every gate works differently, right? It's like, if you go from your community to some other community, right? You see so much of difference the way the process is there at your gate versus what is there at somebody else's gate, right? We have seen that every community has got a different process, right? That is one. Second is, system is being operated by security guards whose attrition rate in the industry is close to 30%, right? The residents who are staying inside, when I say the churn rate in the residents is close to 10 to 15%. Yeah, because, when I say 10 to 15%, there are 10 to 15% of the residents who are staying in a community. They vacate the flat at the end of the year and they look for some other flat.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Right? That's the kind of churn I'm saying. In the sense, like, the residents are also constantly changing. Your delivery executives who keep coming into the communities, right?
Yeah, obviously.
In 3 months' time, the entire set of delivery executives change, right? When you're seeing that this ecosystem is constantly churning, right? And to stay abreast and to stay updated and what the product needs to deliver, you need to have 24/7, 5 or 10 people like a hawks looking into this, right? Otherwise, it'll break, right? Second is, we are dependent on internet at the gate, right? Today, if you come out of your home, you won't get proper internet connection. When you're at home, there is a Wi-Fi and you have a reliable internet connection. Right. But when you come out of your home, straight after your home, right, where you go to the basement and then gone, your internet is gone, reliable internet, right? At that kind of situations, right, we are dealing at the gates where the internet is not so reliable, right? So all these things require a lot of deep thinking to come up with this, solution. People generally think that it's an easy thing to execute, right? The moment you get into this is when you realize that what is the depth of, problems here. And to navigate this, it's 4 years of experience we have got, right? Just to understand. And I'm saying that even with this 4 years of experience, we have just solved 10% of the problem that we wanted to solve. There is 90% of the problem yet not solved, right? And the people who have got this kind of experience, like, so you require that 4 years of experience to even understand what this space is, right? And I think that is the way, although our deep understanding of this space has helped us to stay relevant and to attack or to solve this complex problem. At the same time, what we feel is the problems on the ground are far too many. We constantly are, only involved in solving those problems, right? We are not so worried about any competitor coming in, right? If money was the problem to solve this problem, I think we had raised enough capital to, solve this problem, but we are not able to solve, right? So it is not that capital is a problem, right? Or anybody who's got capital can, disrupt this here. Right? It requires a lot of, mental and bandwidth to make sure that this is successful.
Got it. I think that's fascinating. Vijay, as you contemplate your journey, both the companies, your own personal journey, I'll stick with that word reboot, where you had to reinvent yourself also so many times. You look at our young entrepreneurs today, we're talking in the context of the NetApp Accelerator. What's your advice for them, for the folks, the younger ones, the ones that are already in it, and anybody else that's listening that might be contemplating getting into this journey?
Yeah. So I think for young entrepreneurs, right? See, entrepreneurs have got very creative people, right? And they're actually very disruptive, very creative, and wants to do many things at the same time. That's the very nature of an entrepreneur, right? And the gravity, right? Especially when, when an entrepreneur is starting something, the gravity, basically they don't experience, in the thought process, they don't experience gravity. But once the product hits the ground, that is the time they see that, okay, whatever I had done, the calculation, what I thought in my mind, it doesn't happen so easily on the ground, right? So I think some of the important things that we learned in our way are, you have limited, capital and limited resources. So you need to be very, very focused in what you do, right? Get that immediate thing that is a product market fit. And then, execution of that also needs to be very focused. It's very important for people not to carpet bomb in the initial days, but till it has to be very focused. And this is a mistake a lot of entrepreneurs do, not to remain focused and try to do multiple things at the same time and spread across multiple cities and geographies, right? So I would say that limit your, the key high frequency use cases, limit on those, and then slowly grow. And thereafter, automatically, there is an escape velocity that will get into the organization, right? But till that point in time, you need to be very calibrated with your efforts, right? So that, I think that will be one of the, advice that I would give to the young entrepreneurs who wants to, start something.
Any closing thoughts? I think we've kind of covered most of what I thought we'd like to do. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I would say that, India is, at the right juncture today for, promoting entrepreneurship, as well as, the opportunities and the ecosystem. Everything is very, very ripe. And people who are, wanted to do something, whether it is COVID, no COVID, I think the opportunity is just there. Do your calculated risk, and I think you should get into this. It's a wonderful journey, and it's a really, really fulfilling journey, and there's a lot of learning. There's a lot of learning in this.
Good. Thanks a lot. Very well said and very useful also. Thank you very much, Vijay.
Thanks, Ravi.
All right, thank you so very much, Ravi and Vijay, for that absolutely incredible and a very, very insightful session for all of us to learn and to inspire to take it forward. Let's give them a big round of applause one more time, everybody. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you back in time again. When I say I take you back in time, we asked you a question to give us your poll, give us your opinion about what you think about those two questions. And we're really thankful that you gave us your opinion, and we have the poll results, percentage, or whatever you say of your choice, which is right here. The scroll is going to give us the very important, if you see the scroll, this scroll is what you all have given us your answers. Thank you once again. And we're really, really, really happy that you took our time to tell us what you think. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy. More than happy, I'm very curious to know what is going to be the end result for this entire session. That means, you've guessed it right, we come to that very, very, very important segment of the very important award ceremony. Well, where 3 of our 6 startups, which you just witnessed, will be awarded under these 3 different categories. The categories are the Best Growth Strategy Award, Most Innovative Product, and Investors' Choice Awards. Well, the winners were chosen by a very compiling, very special jury NetApp leaders and the mentors who were involved with each startup throughout their journey. All said, all done, and we are all ready to unfold that special moment which you all have been waiting for. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our first category for today, and that is Best Growth Strategy. And to tell us about the Best Growth Strategy winner, to announce the winner, to unfold the winner, and to let everyone know who is the winner, please join me to welcome Shraddha Sharma, founder and CEO. Your story.
It's great to be part of the first ever virtual NetApp Accelerator demo day. I'm really happy to be presenting the award for the best growth strategy to Cohort, a Bengaluru-based startup leveraging blockchain, ML, and mechanism design with 2 key solutions for supply chain management and B2B marketplaces. Congratulations.
Well, yes, there we have the winner with the best growth strategy. Give it up for Cohort, everybody. The most deserving right there, according to our jury and the entire panelists who decided. Once again, very, very, very big news for all you people out there. Congratulations again to the entire team, to the mentor of Cohort. On that note, I would also like to thank Shraddha for telling us and letting everyone know who was the winner. Thank you, Shraddha, for doing the honors. On that note, remember I said we have 3 categories. That was category number 1. And I take you to our category number 2. And that is the most innovative product. Yes, we are going to be talking about the most innovative product. And to announce the winner and to let us know who is the best in this category, please welcome Octavian Tanase, Senior Vice President, NetApp and Executive Sponsor for NetApp Accelerator.
Good morning. This is Octavian Tanase, the executive sponsor of the NetApp Accelerator program. I want to take a moment to recognize the Cyber Intel team. Suman, Nawaz, Amit, you guys have done a great job of building an AI-driven sizing tool. It is enabling us to do a better job of recommending the appropriate configurations for customers based on their usage, their behavior, what they need in terms of CPU utilization or latency or performance in general. So your AI-driven, model, it's world-class. It's an example of not only, great ideas, but great implementation. So with that, congratulations. Well done.
There you have the most innovative product, and the award goes to, as he announced right there, it is very own Cyborg Intel. Congratulations to the entire team. The entire team has put in a lot of effort, and I'm sure you all are really happy to hear that. Thank you so much, Octavian, for announcing the winner, and congratulations once again to the entire team of Cyborg Intel. On that note, it brings us to our last award, and this one, well, the category itself says everything about this award. Well, this one, we are talking about Investors' Choice Award. And to unfold and tell us who are the Investors' Choice Award winners, please join me to welcome none other than Madhurima Agarwal, the leader of NetApp Accelerator. Let's give a big hand, everybody.
Investors play a key role in the ecosystem, and it is my pleasure to present the Investors' Choice Award to Mylin Foundry. Congratulations, Mylin.
Congratulations! The Investors' Choice Award goes to Mylin Foundry. What a way to win this up. I'm sure the entire team is really excited. They are super duper happy with this achievement. Congratulations once again to every single member, as well as every single team member who's been the mentors, the backend team, everybody together. You guys deserve this. Let's give a big applause for all our 3 category winners for this evening. Well, these were the winners. Well, now I'm going to show you what our winners have to say.
I think the journey has been interesting for sure. I spent several years looking at data analysis, machine learning, AI. And one of the things that I recognized was that even though the cool part of the data journey is AI and ML, the hard part is always getting the data ready before it can be analyzed. So the data governance part, compliance with regulations, auditing data trails, that is the really hard part. And very few people and very few companies are actually focusing on that. And the way we see this is that with regulations around the world becoming more serious about data, whether it is GDPR, whether it's the Reserve Bank of India with the account aggregator framework, Mr. Nandan Nilekani announcing today another data model for financial data. All of these are indicators of the challenges and opportunities in data governance. And that's where we kind of started looking at blockchain as an enabling technology, especially enterprise blockchain, to enable data sharing between enterprises. How do you make sure that data can be shared before it can be analyzed, and how multiple data sources can be brought together? That is where we really focus, whether it's supply chain data, whether it's financial data, whether it's health data. That is really what we are focusing on in CoinEarth. How do you bring these challenges of data privacy, compliance with regulations, auditability of data trails? And we really believe that this is going to be a very critical part in the emerging data architecture of the future. So thank you for the recognition, and I will hand it over back to the organizers.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you, NetApp, for giving us the Most Innovative Award. Very thrilled to accept this award. I would like to thank.
Good evening, everyone. It's a fantastic way to end the evening, and what better way to get an award than say that we are the investors' choice. At Mylan Foundry, we are a young organization. We are looking to solve one of the world's toughest problems of bringing AI to the edge. The intersection we are after is the edge with AI and unstructured data. Video is one of the most complex forms of unstructured data, and to be able to, at the edge, process video to do fantastic things, to enhance the quality, to introduce various other aspects of what can be done as the stream's last stop before it hits the screen is what we are excited about. Recommendation engines, ad insertions, and much more to come. So I congratulate NetApp and of course Madhurima for announcing our award, but also Shraddha. I know her very well. I'm glad that she participated, and it is very nice that Octavian could participate and announce an award for our colleagues as well. And congratulations to CoinEarth and Cyborg Intel for doing fantastically well in this cohort. NetApp with its hybrid data solutions is going to be extremely important for us. As we think about AI, 80% of what we need to do is get data ready for AI. And definitely with solutions such as NetApp, we are going to be looking forward to excelling in the market. As we move forward, what we are looking to do is be the world's first player to bring the ability to process video on edge the way we do it. And thank you for the award again. Back to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived to that one special moment where I am really, really happy and excited, because not just because what we've seen today, not just because what we've witnessed, but I'm sure every single person who watched this today are going to say a big thank you. But before that, I would like to say a big thank you for joining us and being a part of this spectacular event. On that note, as I said, we've arrived to the end of this show. But just before we go there, big round of applause to our winners. Congratulations to the winners. Thank you, speakers. Thank you for all the discussions, for the fireside chat, and much more. And thank you for all the mentors. Ladies and gentlemen, well, that was our Cohort 6 edition. But the story continues, the journey continues while we present to you. Our applications are currently open for the 7th cohort launching October 2020. You heard it right. The 7th edition, the 7th cohort is launching in October 2020. To know more about it, to get all your questions answered, all you need to know is visit the website. That's startup.netapp.in. That's startup.netapp.in. With that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zuhair Abbas. It's been an absolute honor and privilege to be a part of this wonderful day of learning, wonderful day of experiencing with all our startups. All we could say is keep that smile on, be positive, stay safe, stay happy. Good night.